if you would please remember to silence your phones and other devices. And as is, well, it's also if you have a will to speak to us this evening, if you want to fill out a speaker card, that always helps us to keep the records better. So we have speaker cards, I believe, at the podium. They're also out there. But the lack of a speaker card should not hold you back. If the spirit moves, please come up at the appropriate time during our public comment period and speak to us. So let's begin this evening as we traditionally do with a brief moment of silence to center ourselves. Okay, thank you. And if you would now please rise with me and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All right, we going to begin this evening with a very important presentation to a very important member of the Maitland City staff who's been here with us for 33 years. And Debbie, would you please come up here and join me while I'm going to say a few words. And also, if Jay, would you mind coming up as well? So this is Debbie's retiring after 33 years. She's been with the city a very long time. She's been here as long as I can remember, and I've been around here for a very long time as well. But Debbie has unfailingly been just a bright spot in everybody's day. She always finds a way to make things better, to pitch in a little bit more, always with a smile, always with an attitude to bring to whatever project that you're doing. And I think really, everybody who's worked with you feels, at least I know that I do, and I think this is widely shared, that you just improve their lives and their day. And so it is with great sorrow that we are presenting this, but it's also with great joy for your ability to enjoy your life as you see fit without having to be shackled to Maitland all your life. So I want to say a few words about Debbie. Debbie began her career with the city on January 25th, 1993, and over the course of more than 3 decades served in a variety of positions across several city departments. Throughout her career, she contributed to many areas of city operations, supporting both her fellow employees and the residents of Maitland with knowledge, experience, and a commitment to public service. Her dedication to the organization was recognized when she was selected as City of Maitland Employee of the Quarter in both 2016 and 2019, an honor that acknowledges employees who demonstrate outstanding performance and exemplify the city's honorable character traits. 33 years of service is a significant milestone and represents a lasting commitment to this organization and to our community. On behalf of the City Council, the City Manager, and the entire City of Maitland family, we thank Debbie for her years of service, congratulating her on her retirement and wishing her many years of health, happiness, and success in the next chapter of her life. And Debbie, we have just a small token of our appreciation for all your work here over the years. And so I'd like to present this to you. And if you have a few words, we'd love to hear them. We always love to hear them. And read it.
Just thank you for the kind words. And yeah, it's been quite the journey. Yeah, I can't. Sorry, I can't. But just thank you. I've met a lot of really, really wonderful people over the years, and it's been a pleasure. It's very bittersweet, but again, thank you for the kind words.
Sure.
So.
Here, can we take a quick photograph right here? And Jay, you want to hop in here too?
Well, you guys.
Okay. All right. And I think if we could also, Debbie, I mean, maybe would you mind if we brought the entire city council down here and took a picture with you? Because, can we do that? Can you all come down? This is, it's a momentous occasion. It deserves a little more movement, I think. Oh, yes.
For those of you that remember the old city hall, for years, Debbie was the first person as you walked in, that's where you paid your water bill at the front desk, and that's the first person you saw at the desk. Debbie. Did you ever work again?
That was pretty good.
I mean, everybody take 2 steps away from Doug's. There you go.
Yes.
Sure, yeah.
Please. Oh, there.
Thank you. Oh, gosh, this is good.
All right. Everybody look at me and smile. All right.
Yeah, I wish everybody the best.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Give her a moment to file out. Okay. Kim was there. Okay. All right. Thank you, Chief. Okay, our first order of business, serious business, is a public hearing on resolution number 82026, Clean Water Project Facility Plan. Kim, would you like to introduce the item?
Yes, good evening. The purpose of this public hearing is to complete the next step in the Clean Water State Revolving Fund process on a loan for North Keller Road Gravity Sewer Project. As you may recall, the project includes constructing a 24-inch sewer main in between Maitland Center Parkway and Gateway Drive along Keller Road, due to the fact that the 18-inch that's currently there is at 92% capacity. So the state revolving fund process requires the city to complete a clean water facilities plan for the project to be included with the loan application. Our plan was developed by Atlas Engineering, one of our engineering consultants, and it includes the description of the project. It evaluates alternatives and cost. It assesses the environmental impact of the project, and it provides the proposed project cost for the recommended alternative and the anticipated impacts to the utility customers. In order to complete the facilities plan, the city must first have a process for public participation and must formally adopt the plan. So this meeting tonight was advertised 14 days in advance as required, and the plan was available upon request for anyone who wanted to review it. We do have a representative here from Atlas Engineering if there's any questions. But after taking public input and if there's no objections, staff recommends that council formally adopt the facilities plan by approving the resolution.
Okay. Thank you, Kim. Does anybody have any questions of Kim on this item? None. None? Okay. Does anybody from the public wish to speak on this item? Or take public comment if you do? Okay, seeing none, let's close the public comment period. And if there's no further discussion, the motion would be in order.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number 8-2026 Clean Water Project Facility Plan.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Lori, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Shaney.
Aye.
Councilmember Givens.
Aye.
Councilmember Randolph.
Aye.
Councilmember French.
Aye.
Mayor Lowndes.
Aye. Okay,
Thank
we
you.
have approved the resolution. Thank you, Kim. All right, old business. Mr. City Manager, is there any old business?
No, sir.
Okay. Consent agenda. Does anybody on council wish to remove any items from the consent agenda? Okay. Does anybody from the public have comments on consent agenda items 4 through 6? Okay, seeing none, let's close the public comment period. And a motion on the consent agenda would be in order.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. Lori, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Shaney.
Aye.
Councilmember Randolph.
Aye.
Councilmember Givens.
Aye.
Councilmember French.
Aye.
Mayor Lowndes.
Aye. Okay. We are on to the public period. So we have a number of cards here, and if, I'll go ahead and call the names of the cards that we have. And if there are other folks who want to speak, you can fill out a card. If not, you can fill in as we go. Carol Bear. Hello. Actually, this would probably be better to take, usually take public comment over there if that's it. For some reason, it records better, perhaps. I'm not sure what the issue is, but that's where we typically take it.
It's the kind of meeting I like. It moves quickly.
Yes.
That's good. My name's Carol Behar. I've been a resident of Maitland for 35 years. This is probably the second city council meeting I've ever attended, but it's about an issue that I feel is very important. AI is part of our lives. We all accept that. We all know that. It's here to stay. And I know that the Host Dime AI Processing Center is already approved and about to open. But I have some concerns about its impact on our community. It is literally down the road. It's 0.2 miles from the sinkhole we just had in Maitland a month ago. That's a big concern. It hasn't even opened yet. I would like to ask the council to have some ongoing discussions about the AI center's impact to our grid, to our water table, to our noise pollution. It's our next door neighbors. I know it's Orange County, but it's right there for us, just as it is for Eatonville. And I think we all should have concerns and probably should have had impact and transparency sooner rather than now when it's a done deal. So that's basically why I'm here. And my concern is not as much for me as it is for those two kids in the room from Maitland. Because I'm not going to be around in 15 years, but they will be. Or I may not be around. I might. And so it's for those children in Maitland, just like my children grew up, my grandchildren now, that I'm asking this question. So we have some thought to our future.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Bayar.
Thank you.
And we typically go through all the comments, and if council has any questions afterwards, we may discuss. Thank you. John Harvey. Justin Harvey, I'm sorry. I put my glasses back on.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Justin, and tonight I'm here with some of my neighbors from the Hamlet community. And we just simply want to make our community a little safer and a little cleaner. And I don't want tonight to come off like a list of demands, but more so just some suggestions that we can better our community with. And I want to emphasize that we do want to be part of the solution here and work with you all. For those that don't know, the Hamlet is a neighborhood tucked right in the back corner of Maitland. On one side of us is Eatonville, and across the road is Winter Park. The first thing I wanted to bring up was the trash down Monroe Avenue. It just gets really out of hand, and I know you all are picking it up with the city, and that's helpful, but we go out there ourselves now to pick it up regularly. I went out one time before the Christmas holiday and filled 5 full yard waste trash bags in one trip. So it's just really a problem, and I don't know what the solution would be, but I was thinking maybe if we got a garbage can put at the bus stop area, something that the city could maintain, maybe people would actually use it. The other thing is we've got a park in our community that's maintained by the city, and I'd really love to see if we could get one of the dog poop trash cans. We have just a problem with that in our neighborhood, and it's really hard to police people and force them to do it. But I think if we had one of those cans for dog remains, like a lot of Maitland parks, it could help solve that as well. The last thing I'll just mention is the street lights on Monroe. I don't know what that process is or how we go about that, but it's just a little unsafe. People fly down that road. We've got a bus stop there, like I mentioned. There's street lights down by the new gym, the Lifetime gym, and there's some at the apartments. But on the Monroe Maitland side, we really don't have any, and it's really just pitch black there at night when we're coming home. At the end of the day, I just feel like these things increase property values. They build our community. They make your jobs easier, and they give us something to be proud of when we drive home at night and not, see the trash. It's also just a shame seeing like the entering Maitland sign from the Eatonville side, and it's like there's trash lined on both sides. And I know when you're entering Maitland at any other point, you don't see that. So maybe we slip between the cracks because of the borders there, but I just hope that maybe we can work on some of these things. And for what it's worth, I put in a request for a new sign in the park, and you all handled it swiftly. In a week, you approved it, and it was replaced. So thank you for that, and I hope that we can continue that working relationship to make our community in Maitland keep it looking great. So thanks for your time.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Harvey. We appreciate you bringing those concerns to us. Okay, Dylan Benson.
Good evening. My name is Dylan. I am also from the same neighborhood that Justin was, and I would like to bring up a few concerns as well. First being the condition of the sidewalks. It doesn't look like they have been maintained, or should I say cleaned, in quite some time. They're starting to turn black, especially near the rear where our pavilion is. And not only is it unsightly, and we as a community would like to make this neighborhood a little bit nicer looking, with the city's help, that would be great. But also, when it gets wet, because it rains a lot in Florida, those darker sidewalks tend to get slippery, which could be a dangerous situation. The second thing I want to bring up is the speed limit. For those of you unfamiliar, it is a very narrow single street with parking almost at a free-for-all, which is unfortunately understandable with the growing nature of our neighborhood. However, the speed limit there is 25 miles an hour, and I do believe I've emailed some of you about that. And there has been a drastic uptick in the amount of children in the neighborhood, which is fantastic. But children playing in the yards, in the streets, and someone adhering to the speed limit, which seems pretty dangerous, could cause some unfortunate situations, which I believe lowering the speed limit down to 10 miles an hour could drastically help. If the city could consider that, that would be wonderful, and we really appreciate that to help make the neighborhood safer. So the sidewalks and the speed limit, those are my two concerns about the neighborhood. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, Mr. Benson, are you talking about Monroe? Is that?
Yes,
is that, okay.
Sorry, Hamlet
I just want to
Drive.
make sure. I thought that's
not Monroe Avenue, Hamlet Drive.
Hamlet
So
Drive.
just specifically for the Hamlet at Maitland.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Nisha Clemens. Good evening.
Hello, my name is Naisha Clemens, and I'm also here from the Hamlet community. So I just wanted to echo that I definitely agree with the things that my neighbors have also mentioned previously. I've been a resident at the Hamlet for about 5 years or so, and I have seen a difference in the way that our community is upkept composed to other areas of Maitland. But today specifically, my concern is going to be the park that is specifically owned by the city of Maitland. It's just not welcoming and it doesn't seem well maintained. The landscaping back there, the grass is cut, but as far as the actual park and the cleanliness of it is just not up to par. And honestly, I really don't feel safe with having our children playing back there. For example, there is an exposed irrigation pipe back there. And if our children are playing and accidentally bump their head or hit their arm or something on it, it can cause a serious injury. And also I would like to ask if there's any current plans or how we can put in a request to have it updated. Right now, it's just not welcoming. There's no type of mulch or maybe like turf, and the overall condition of the park is just like a slide and a monkey bar, and the kids really don't use it. They just prefer to run in the grass because it just doesn't look welcoming. So I would just like to see how we can go about getting that updated for our children in our community.
Okay. Thank you, Naisha. Ms. Clemens. Well, like I said, after we get through the round of comments, we'll address these one by one. Thanks. Okay. Anybody else? Yes.
Hi, I'm Danny Thomas, the Director at the Art and History Museums of Maitland, and I just want to give you an update on a couple of things we have going on at the museums. We had a fabulous opening on Friday, and it was great to see so many council members there. Normally, our July openings are pretty small, this summer, but we had more people than we've ever had during the summer. Over 350 guests were there. One of the challenges of those busy evenings is you don't always get a chance to really hear from our chief curator about the art. So this Wednesday evening, for our last Wednesday hours, he is going to be leading a private tour. It's open to the entire community. These events are always free, and it's a wonderful opportunity to hear a little bit more about the art behind the scenes. So please come by if you're able. And then you should all be receiving an invitation to our groundbreaking or our ribbon cutting ceremony for the new education classrooms soon. But it's not really going to be a ribbon cutting ceremony because we want to focus on building something, not breaking something. And we will instead be ushering these buildings opened in Andre Smith style. In 1937, to welcome the opening of the research studio, he rang the bell. And so we will be having a bell ringing ceremony. We'll be inviting all of the council members and community members to join us in ringing that bell too. So you should see information about that soon. It'll be August 27th at 6 p.m. And we hope you all can join us.
Okay. Thank you, Danny. All right. And the last card we have is for Vance Guthrie. And
Vance Guthrie, 1504 Druid Isle. Feels good to stand up here. I've been here for a while. Danny, thank you for all you do. You're doing a fantastic job over there. Appreciate it. I am here today to talk to you about the TDT, and that is the Tourist Developmental Tax. We had our first meeting on Tuesday. We have another meeting tomorrow, 9 a.m. till 2 p.m., and then another meeting on Wednesday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., and then to follow up, we'll be doing the 5th and a few more dates after that, just really trying to get all this in. So, I want to thank y'all for putting me in this position to do this. It happens every 3 years, I believe. And so it's a great honor. So thank you. Thank you very much. For those who don't know what the TDT is, it's Tourist Developmental Tax. So it's a 6% added tax onto hotels. So when you stay at a hotel, there's this tax. Now, we're not taxed on this. It's just if you stayed at a hotel. So all this is driven by that. So it accumulates a lot of money. And so we have all these nonprofits and other organizations which are in the field of bringing in tourists come and ask for this money, because this money can only be used for things that will bring tourism back to Orange County. Orange County is the biggest, brings in the most tourist tax dollars than any other county in the United States. We're number one. So we're blessed to be able to go out and do things. You might have seen on the news, they're talking about a parking lot added to the Citrus Bowl. I call it the Citrus Bowl. Y'all call it whatever you want. And I could call it the Tangerine Bowl, right?
Yeah.
So, so it's things like that are going to bring tourists in. And a definition of a tourist is anybody who lives outside of the county. So if you come into the county from another county, you're considered a tourist. All right. So with all this money accumulated, it goes through a process, and you have to fill out paperwork to ask for it. And there was about, I think, 17 organizations that have asked for money. And how they've graded this is just like on a street light. There's a green light, a yellow light, and a red light. Green light is the process, no problems whatsoever. The yellow light is, all right, you did the paperwork, you did everything, there's a few questions. Red light is, all right, you've asked for this. There's a chance that we could see that you could make it, but you have a lot of issues you have to cover. Okay, so that's where we are with this. So, and when I was approaching my meeting, there was all the news stations outside, and they had our two state house representatives, and then they had a bunch of county commissioners out there speaking and other people from the Orange County area. And their discussion was on housing and really, making affordable housing and using this money for affordable housing. So we start the meeting and we start talking about the tourist tax and how everybody was rated and da-da-da. And so I brought up the fact that one of the problems that we have in South Orlando is getting people to their jobs. It's right now, a lot of people can't afford cars. So there's also a problem of getting people to train stations. So my thought was that this money should really be used to go to transportation, to get our employees to these places, to the hotels, to the restaurants, to the parks, because that's the main part of tourism is our employees. If you don't have good quality employees and you're not fully staffed, you're not running a great product. So that's what we want. We want a great product to bring people back to Orange County to spend their money. And then in the future, that'll give us more opportunity and bring in more money so we can do more things with it. I did hear back from a Orange County commissioner. They liked my idea. We talked about it outside. We also talked about the housing. So the problem with that is right now how the rules are stated that you cannot use tourist tax dollars for housing or transportation. So what my recommendation will be going forward is that we add into our recommendation that we recommend the county commissioners lobby the state to change that so we can start using tax dollars for it. So we have to go to the state, get them to change it to use the money for those things. So tonight, if it's okay with y'all, I just wanted to go through a couple of the corporations and nonprofits that have asked for money and how much they asked for. Is that okay?
Yeah, just
Okay. And I'll tell you if it's a yellow, green, or red. So there was an 8 Waves Corporation. They're proposing a 20,000 square foot children's museum to be immersive indoor-outdoor destinations where children 1 to 12 can discover their gifts through creative and literacy, imagination, and hands-on learning. They're asking for $25 million. That is yellow. Alcrest Capital, the Florida Freshwater Discovery Center, they're asking for 48 million. Association to Preserve Edenville Community, the Zora Neale Hurston International Museum of Arts, Heritage, Culture, a permanent, unique, year-round cultural heritage tourism destination. They're asking for $53 million. That is a yellow. Creative City Projects. This is a festival. I'm not sure about the festival. I'll learn more about it. $22.5 million. Dr. Phillips Center for Performing Arts. Dr. Phillips Center is requesting TDT funding to support development of the North Block featuring a 750-seat theater, 200 black box theater, 180-seat second stage, 800-seat banquet and event space, food and beverage support amenities, East Block flexible performance venue, and they are asking for $750 million.
All right. Well,
Dr. Phillips Charities, and I'm going to touch on this because we already talked about Edenville. Edenville Museum and Cultural History, a Hungerford property. They're yellow. They're asking for $60 million. The reason why you saw the previous one for Edenville and this one, and just going forward, there's going to be 2 more people requesting for Edenville in that Hungerford property. The problem is nobody owns the property yet. It's still Orange County, correct? So they're coming and asking for this money based on if they get the property or not. So we'll still see that. I think August 4th, and Scott, you might know this a little better than me, but I think there is a decision coming out on the property. Am I right with that?
There's a sunshine, lawsuit.
Oh, it's a
pending.
sunshine lawsuit.
Yeah,
Okay.
that has to do with Dr. Phillips.
Okay, it's not the property then.
Not that
okay.
I know of.
Thank you for the clarification. I thought it was the property. Florida Citrus Sports.
hey,
New
Vance, can I ask how long a list do you have there? We got to kind of
Okay.
move on.
Well, I'll just tell you what. The ones that are the big ones are Florida Citrus Sports. They're asking for quite a bit, and then also the baseball team. They want $900 million over the next year. I'd like to know how anybody feels about that. I know how I feel, but $900 million, and I think they're in a yellow. University of Central Florida. They're asking for $120 million to do some sports-related stuff. Yes, and there's a whole bunch of these, but there's 4 people in Edenville, 4 organizations coming for that property in Edenville that is kind of up in the air right now. So I'm able to take any questions if y'all have any.
I'm good. Well, we appreciate you being on that task force. We sent you to go do the work, and we sent the right guy. So thanks for doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, my wife wants to be home, so I'm going to go across the street and have a beer.
All right. Thanks, Vance. Does anybody else have any public comment this evening? Okay. Let's close the public comment period. And Ms. Bihar had a question about the data center, the host time data center. And I mean, it's, as you pointed out, yeah, it's kind of late in the game on that one, and it was already, it's already up and pretty soon will be running, I think. So, but since that was approved, I think there's been a lot more concern about the total impacts of these data centers, and especially on water and electricity and noise, as you point out. And these things, I think, are getting a lot of attention across the country and in Florida. So it's something to keep an eye on as we go forward. I don't know what we can do about the host time situation, especially since it's not in our jurisdiction. But we do appreciate you bringing that up. Let's see. Who else do we have? Justin, Justin Harvey, yes. And I think if you don't mind, Justin and Dylan and Naisha, if I could take all yours at the same time. You have a lot of concerns about the Hamlet area, and we'd really do appreciate you all coming out. This is kind of what the government's all about. Local government is to listen to people when they have complaints, and you can register your complaints with city staff as well as coming in and telling us in city council here. So we appreciate you taking your evening to come and do this. It may be that area hasn't been getting a lot of attention lately. It's not an area that that we hear about generally a lot. So I'm glad you brought those concerns up, and I know that Mark, from the city manager's position, you're aware of some of these complaints and issues and how we can address them going forward. But yeah, we take those very seriously, and thank you for bringing those concerns to us, because every part of Maitland looks better. We're all better off. So thank you for coming out this evening. And Danny Thomas, yes, thank you, Danny. It was a wonderful event the other night. It was very well attended. I was there for a little bit of it, but I was really surprised at how many people were there. It was like it was a mob scene. I don't know what finally clicked, but there were a couple hundred people just kind of hanging out and having a good time. I got there a little bit late. It was a standing room only for Dan Hess's descriptions, so it was standing listening to Dan. So that was awesome. Although you guys do not work for the city of Maitland, we should know that you cannot be released until you've had 33 years of service. So we want you all to stay on and keep doing the great things that you're doing over there. So anybody else have any comments on comments we've heard this evening?
No,
Okay.
just back to Hamlet. I mean, there's some low hanging things here that are pretty simple to get accomplished. I'm not sure about 10 miles per hour, whether we could go down that low or not. Is this a closed street, just a neighborhood street, or is it a through
Yes.
street?
It's a neighborhood street.
So, I mean, we'd have to look at that, whether that would be possible. But like trash cans, lighting, I think that would probably have to be a Duke Energy kind of thing. And I know in certain neighborhoods, you can put in street lights, but then the neighbors are, like, I know my neighborhood, we pay for our street lights through Duke, through an agreement. So I'm not sure if that's a possibility or not, but sidewalks, certainly, I see them all over the place that have been, neglected as far as power washing. I don't know if we have Parks and Rec staff that has that capability. We'd have to go outside for that, wouldn't we? So
I think we do power washing. I mean, there's
No, sir, we don't.
No?
No, we're only our trail system,
Okay, so not just the sidewalk areas.
not general sidewalks, no.
Okay. And
in the common areas, do we do any pressure washing?
In parks, we do.
Okay.
Parks and
but
trails.
Our neighborhoods, I know I pressure wash my
Yeah.
sidewalk and my right of way.
Yes, that's the rule.
Yeah.
okay. And for lights, I guess they're so you pay for your own street lights through your association.
Correct.
Okay.
When we upgraded them as part of our neighborhood, we agreed to take on the cost of leasing the poles. They maintain the lights. We pay the power anyway. We did pay the power originally, but we added the acorn lights to our neighborhood, so we had to take on that responsibility as well.
Okay. And so just to be clear, the lighting was that a Monroe Avenue or is that a Hamlet Drive issue? Monroe Avenue? I mean, I think there's ways that, Duke is in control of all that. I don't know if you all, so Duke, it's their lights, and somebody will pay Duke ultimately, but I think the city can request, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
certain
there
areas
is a
we-
lighting project going on there now. The problem we have is it's multi-jurisdictional between Maitland, Winter Park, and Eatonville. So we have no ability to request lights outside of our jurisdiction. That's the challenge there.
Okay. All right.
So that isn't in our jurisdiction.
Only piece of it, that is, but the street has multiple jurisdictions.
Okay. Bill, anything else?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, again, thank you all for coming in with your concerns, and we'll take care of them to the extent we can and deal with them that way. All right. We have a decision this evening on the proposed millage rate. And this is a statutory function and it has its own very nuanced way of dealing with it. But Mark, would you like to introduce the proposed millage rate item?
Yes, sir. In accordance with the truth and millage compliance requirements in Chapter 200 of the statutes, the city has to do a few things before we adopt our budget. First, we must calculate the rollback rate for the 2026 tax year. As you know, the 2026 tax year for the tax collector follows 1 year in arrears of us. That's for our 2027 budget year. Same period of time, though. Just different terminology. We need to set our proposed operating and voted debt millage rates and set the date, time, and place for the tentative budget hearing. Statutes require that each of these happen in a separate motion with a public hearing on each motion. The operating millage rate of 5.0465 was used in the preparation of the budget draft, which is 3.66% higher than the rollback rate of 4.8685. The proposed 2020 or 2004 voted debt millage, that was for City Hall, police, and fire stations, is 0.1890 mils. And that's the millage rate that's required to fund the debt service on that. The 2026 voted debt millage rate for library is 0.2890 to fund the $1.2 million in principal and interest on that debt. The combined total millage rate of 5.5245 used in the draft budget is 0.282 mils more than the prior year's combined total rate of 5.2425 due to the additional debt that we took on for the construction of the library. The state's revised maximum millage rate voting requirements for FY 2027 consist of 3 levels of voting options. For tax year 2026, the maximum millage rate that can be levied with a simple majority vote is the rollback rate this year. That's a pretty significant change from last year. The maximum millage rate allowed by 2/3 of a vote is 5.3554, which is the rollback rate times 110%. The final millage rate will be set at the final public hearing on September 28th of this year. The final millage rate could be any millage equal to or lower than the proposed millage rate set by City Council tonight. The millage rate can be increased after the proposed millage rate is set. However, it involves an extremely onerous and costly process of notification to the taxpayers, and it is not recommended whatsoever. So as we discussed at the last budget workshop last week, we've prepared this agenda item at the current millage rate with the voted debt just to cover the debt service for those 2 referendum that were passed. So with that, I would be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Does anybody have any questions of Mark on this?
No, so clarification is the 5.0465 mils. That's proposed. That covers what we need to do in our budget this year.
That covers what was presented to you in the budget last week.
Okay. And so for public comment purposes, do we have one single public comment period or do we have one comment period? We have 5 different motions.
I believe you, Mark, you said one public period for each item you wanted?
Yes.
It's
So a
one for each item.
motion, a second, public period, a vote, motion, second, public period, vote, 5 times over.
Okay. All right. Yes.
All right, I'll move to set the rollback millage rate for the 2026 tax year at 4.8685 mils.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. And so now we open for public
Public
comment.
period.
Would anybody from the public like to speak to this item? Seeing none, let's close the public period and bring it back to the vote. Lori, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember French.
Aye.
Councilmember Randolph.
Aye.
Councilmember Givens.
Aye.
Councilmember Shaney.
Aye.
Mayor Lowndes.
Aye. Okay, do we have a motion on the second one?
I'll move to set the proposed operating millage rate for the 2026 tax year at 5.0465 mils.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Let's open it for public comment. Does anybody from the public have any comment on this item? Seeing none, let's close the public comment period and come back and call the roll.
Councilmember Randolph.
Aye.
Councilmember French.
Aye.
Councilmember Shaney.
Aye.
Councilmember Givens.
Aye.
Mayor Lowndes.
Aye. Okay. We have another motion.
I'll move to set the proposed 2004 voted debt millage rate for the 2026 tax year at 0.1890 mils.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Let's open the public comment period on this one. Does anybody from the public have any input on this item? Seeing none, let's close the public comment period and bring it back to Lori. Would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Givens.
Aye.
Councilmember Shaney.
Aye.
Councilmember French.
Aye.
Councilmember Randolph.
Aye.
Mayor Lowndes.
Aye. Okay. The next one.
Move to set the proposed 2026 voted debt millage rate for the 2026 tax year at 0.2890 mils for a combined total of 5.5245 mils.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Let's open it up for public comment. Does anybody from the public have any comment on this? Okay, seeing none, let's close public comment period. And Lori, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Shaney.
Aye.
Councilmember Randolph.
Aye.
Councilmember Givens.
Aye.
Councilmember French.
Aye.
Mayor Lowndes.
Aye. Okay, we have one more.
I'll move to set the date, time, and place for the public hearing on the tentative budget for fiscal year 2026, 2027 as Monday, September 14th, 2026 at 6:30 PM in the City Hall Council Chambers.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Does anybody from the public like to weigh in on this? Let's open the public comment period. And seeing none, let's close the public comment period and bring it back to Lori to call the roll.
Councilmember French.
Aye.
Councilmember Randolph.
Aye.
Councilmember Givens.
Aye.
Councilmember Shaney.
Aye.
Mayor Lowndes.
Aye. Okay, we have set the proposed millage rate. Excellent. That does it for the substantive portions of our meeting. Does anybody have any reports? Any, Mr. City Attorney?
No, sir.
Mr. City Manager?
Just real briefly, couple project updates. Sandspur Road is moving along well. Construction's finished last week on the resurfacing between Wymore and Booker. Sidewalks, curbs are all replaced. There's 2 road intersections were also rebuilt. The city will start planting trees out there as time becomes available with our arbor crew. We're going to be doing that in-house. As you all know, the worst time to be planting trees is right now. So we'll be starting that in the fall and into the spring to get that to replant. So you'll see that coming up in sections. North Independence Lane, as you probably saw coming in today, site clearing started last week for the roadway construction. Today, sections of the parking lot were starting to come up of the areas we acquired from the Presbyterian Church and the Truist Bank. So our goal is talking to them to have that open by the end of the year, but the construction time frame is longer and you never know what's going to happen with construction. Progress continuing on the library. If you were around City Hall, you felt a little bit of compaction going on. So they're getting ready for the pour for the foundation over there. There will be some night construction for that to get that in and out, because with all that concrete, it's going to need to be a continuous pour. So there'll be some early starts and working into the night to make sure that all works out well. So you may hear about that a little bit. Again, we just got to rip the Band-Aid off and get it done. So Mohican Trail, installation of the new water line along Mohican Trail, moved to phase 2 last week, closing off road traffic between North Thistle and Deloraine. This is the longer phase of the project. It's going to take about 3 months to get that knocked out, and that does include the intersection at Mohican and Deloraine. And the police department roof is moving right along. Expected to finish next month. So got a lot going on out there right now.
Okay, yeah, it's very busy. All right, thank you. Madam City Clerk, anything?
No, sir.
Anybody on council? Anything to report?
No, I'd just like to add that I like my Sandsboro Road now. It's smooth. It's easy to get up and down. I know a lot of people are asking about the trees and I keep telling them it's going to come, so it just takes time. But I will also say that I've had some people when they were one laning down by Lake Colony, because at that point you had to keep Lake Colony open. And they were complaining to me about, have the length of time they stopped to shift lanes, to get around that. And I go, well, that would have been probably 3 months of that had we not closed it down for 5 weeks. So it was a little bit of pain. Everybody was upset a little bit, but I think now that it's done, they're appreciative that it got done in one fell swoop.
Right. Well, good. Okay.
Yeah, I'll just add that I met one of our constituents over by Perea the other day, and I hadn't seen her in a while, and she was enthused about the Sandsboro Road improvements, but also all the other things she's reading about in our social media posts. And it was very laudatory about all the exciting things that are happening, but also the fact that they were being shared with our citizens. And so I think that's been a great success. People are aware of all the work that gets done every day here in the city. And it's great to hear back, to have that reflected back. I didn't ask about it. It was completely unprompted. So good work. Wonderful.
Well, I find myself in sync with Councilmember French often, so I'm happy to add that I think it's nice to highlight that it seems like the project on Sandsboro was essentially completed on time, and I think we spend a lot of time talking about things that aren't completed on time. So I just wanted to get a moment in there to say it's great to see something done well, goes well. I think Public Works and the city manager and assistant city manager should be commended for that, even though I know they hate when I say things like that.
Okay. Anybody else? Good to have you back, Steve. I'm sure you love being here.
I love being here. I love the temperature,
All right.
the humidity.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, with that, let us stand adjourned. Thank you.
All right, meeting adjourned. Good job. Quit when you're finished. That's what.
Every time.
Told.